Going from TV commercial child genius to renowned photographer, Shaira Luna is showing what women can achieve by pushing boundaries creatively. Let's get to know her journey behind the camera. Shaira joins us now on The Final Word. Shaira, thank you so much for joining us. Well, you know what? I was watching your commercials of the 1990s, and you were known as a gifted child. Don't cover your face. Don't be shy about it. I mean, what led you to photography when you could have been a doctor or maybe an engineer or a space scientist?
Well, I wanted to be all those things. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when you're like 2 years old, you think you can be everything.
Yeah.
As I grew up and kind of opened my eyes to the other things I could do, I realized I didn't really have to follow the story that I thought was written for me. So I really kind of explored. I guess I really tried to, find my own path. Although I really didn't know what I wanted to do at first. But I'm really happy I ended up in photography, and it took quite a while actually before I got to this point in my life. I really explored, lots of different things. The arts. I also tried to be a host. I tried writing, so it's just very organic. And I can't be more thankful that I ended up doing what I'm doing.
Organic and, of course, an eclectic mix, no, of different jobs that you've been doing through the years. You just returned from a photo shoot just minutes ago before you got into this Zoom call. So what drew you into photographing fashion, portraits, and lifestyle?
I actually started shooting bands when I was a teenager. So I didn't really have an idea about fashion. I wasn't really interested in show business or celebrity culture. I really had no idea. I had no idea what other jobs a photographer could have. It was really nowhere. Nowhere in my horizon. So I think throughout the years of shooting different things from events, products, catalogs, anything I could shoot, I think I fell in love with fashion photography because it allowed me to create my own stories using things you could actually hold in your hands, such as clothes, for example. So I think it was the storytelling part of it that really attracted me to fashion photography.
A lot of photographers are watching us right now, and they've seen your beautiful and amazing photos. And I'm sure they would also like to find out what kind of camera do you use for your photo shoots?
Okay, so I started, I had the same brand of camera for 11 years. I'm not really good with technology. And also when I was starting, I only had to use what I could afford or what I could find secondhand. So I just got used to, just using whatever I could afford at that time. Now I use both a mirrorless camera. I also have a medium format. I use my phone. Sometimes during shoots, I'll have around 4 cameras with me. I have a disposable, I have a digital, I have an analog camera. I'm very malikot when I shoot. So,
but what is still your favorite? Is it using the film or the digital camera or the smartphone?
Pardon, sorry?
Do you still use the film for manual cameras, or do you also, what is your favorite? The film or the digital camera?
That's a really hard question, Rico, because both have their appeal, obviously. The film really has that nostalgic pull, and I think a lot of people think that's really like what I lean towards, like the nostalgic, very 70s kind of style. But at the same time, I like seeing my work at once. So I don't know, it's like neck and neck. It's really hard to pick one.
That's why you have always 4 cameras when you go on a shoot, right? That's why sometimes it's a gut feel. What camera should I use for this particular subject or for this particular model? So tell us, Shaira, for you, what makes a good photograph?
I think if it can tell a story, if it allows you to create your own story, and if there's feeling in it. I am not very technical. I didn't really study photography, so I don't think I have a definition of what makes a perfect photograph. I think it's really more of the feeling for me, because as I learned photography, as I developed my skills, all my favorite photos that I would go back to were the ones that I felt the most happy about. So I think for me, it's really the feeling and the love you put into the making of the photos.
And your message to young women who also want to be a professional photographer like you.
Well, for one, don't be intimidated by the gear. Don't be intimidated by like big guys with their big cameras, because I kind of was when I was starting. I never thought that I would be shooting in a studio. I never thought I would learn how to light. I really wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't sure if I had a place in the industry, but I guess with a lot of practice, lots and lots and lots of practice, and of course, putting in the time and doing your research, there's no way you won't get far. You really just have to love what you're doing.
Yeah, just don't get intimidated, no, by the gadgets, by all of these cameras and the lights. But how can you empower young people who want to dabble into the arts, but also don't have the resources to buy the cameras?
I was like that for a very long time because I was on my own for a little bit when I was a teenager. So I really just tried to use what was available to me. I bought stuff secondhand. I made my own props. I made my own reflectors. I was really just very hungry to be able to shoot and to learn. So at first, I guess don't really think about what equipment you have or what equipment you don't have. And it's a bit cliche, but really the best tool you have is whatever you can get your hands on and whatever you can, put to your eye.
Shaira, you are indeed an inspiration to up and coming photographers. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.
Thank you so
Photographer
much.
Shaira Luna.